I'm Neil Hamilton. I'm the UKIP leader in Wales and a UKIP member of the Welsh Assembly, and I've been a UKIP member since 2002. And I've just watched the most extraordinary delusional video which Gerard Batten has put out, making a lot of false allegations about the NEC and inviting you all to vote for his Batten Brigade candidates in the NEC election. Let's be clear, there is a battle going on inside the party about the party's future. And if the wrong side wins, it won't have a future. Does Gerard not know what damage he's done to the party in the last 12 months by his crusade to make Tommy Robinson a member of the party and by his continued association with Tommy Robinson as Tommy's cheerleader? In May, we lost every single one of our MEPs. Since August, since Richard Batten became leader, we've lost 25% of our members of UKIP. We've lost half our Welsh Assembly members. We've lost every single one of our major donors, people like Christopher Mills, who was party treasurer, Stuart Wheeler, who's given the party £1 million or more, Alan Bown, who's a candidate in this election, has given £2 million to the party. But why should he give any more if the party seems to be going down the tubes, tearing itself to bits? In addition to all those, we have lost most of our councillors and we've lost all our political credibility. You know, when Gerard, faced with the catastrophe of the European elections, had to write to the NEC to explain it, he said this, and I'm going to quote from his own letter. He said, "As UKIP's leader, I take full responsibility for the result. The buck stops with me, whatever the actual causes were." Well, we don't need to wonder too far what the actual causes were. The causes were that the Brexit party wiped us out. And it was because of Gerard's fixation with Tommy Robinson that Nigel Farage resigned from UKIP and took most of our MEPs with him into his new Brexit party, which of course is organised on the same kind of dictatorial Führer principle that Gerard wants to have in UKIP, because the Brexit party is entirely the creature of the leader. And so Gerard wants to abolish the NEC, the elected voice of the party members' voice, against the leader or with the leader, as the case may be. They have a mandate too. The leader's elected, the NEC is elected by you, the members. They have an equal mandate, in fact. The kind of leadership principle that Gerard now wants to install would have wiped him out when Farage was the leader of the party, because it was only the NEC that managed to keep the leader in check and stop him acting like the dictator that we know him now to be. So Gerard has changed his tune only because he can't get his way in the party on Tommy Robinson. And this Tommy Robinson issue needs to be sorted out once and for all, and this is the opportunity for you to do that. Maybe you want to turn UKIP into a kind of Tommy Robinson fan club and consign us to political oblivion. That's your choice. But you don't need to destroy UKIP in order to get what you want. You can join For Britain or any of the motley collection of non-entity parties that are never going to get anywhere in Britain, because that's not the sort of thing that the British people will vote for. Over the course of my lifetime, we've had the National Front, the British National Party, the English Defence League, etc., etc. None of them have ever got any electoral traction. UKIP did get electoral traction because we were able to reach out to millions and millions of people who otherwise would never have thought of voting for us. Gerard, at a stroke, with his mad fixation with Tommy Robinson, has destroyed our political credibility, and it needs to be rebuilt. And I had hoped when Richard Batten became leader that he was going to do this. But no, Richard doesn't look forward, he only looks back. His leadership is defined not by him, but by Gerard. You know, he's made a great song and dance about the fact that he can't have Gerard as his deputy leader. Well, does it really matter if we have a deputy leader or not? The Constitution says that Richard can have a deputy leader, but the deputy leader has no functions or role except what Richard would ask him to do. If Richard were to die in office as leader, the deputy leader would not succeed him. That's specifically provided for in the Constitution. So it's a bit like being President of the United States, Vice President of the United States. It's a kind of Christmas tree post which doesn't have any great constitutional significance. The other thing is that Richard wanted to appoint Liz Phillips as chairman of the party in place of Kirsten Heriot. Well, I objected to that nomination, not because I don't like Liz. She's been a very good friend of mine for many, many years. But I objected both to Liz as chairman and Gerard as deputy leader because they are both the most vigorous cheerleaders for Tommy Robinson. They both wanted Tommy to be a member of UKIP, and I believe they still do. And the whole integrity movement has been wedded to that concept. And integrity recently, of course, removed the aim which said that they wanted to make Tommy a member of the party, but that was purely cosmetic, because there's a meeting on the 2nd of November at which Tommy Robinson is going to be their special guest speaker. So this is what's going on in this NEC election, and this is fundamentally what it's all about. Do you want UKIP to become a Tommy Robinson fan club, or do you want it to be a broad-based party which is capable of appealing to millions of people and is going to be able to make a difference on the big issues of the day, like Brexit, the Extinction Rebellion, a whole range of issues in our manifesto, which Richard Brain has done absolutely nothing about since he became the leader on the 10th of August. He has been entirely fixated on internal disputes. Gerard's complaining, and he's complaining, that he can't send out uncensored emails. Well, jolly good thing too, in my view, because the last email from Richard Brain that I saw was him calling upon the members to boycott our own national conference in Newport, and so wrecking the plans that we had in Wales to launch our 2021 Welsh Assembly election platform on a new policy, a new unique selling point of abolishing the Assembly and changing the whole devolution process. So when the leader is actually using the party communication system to undermine the party itself, don't you think it's a good thing that some control ought to be exercised over him? And the reason why Richard's in the condition that he is today, a suspended member of the party, is because he and a colleague of his, Mark Dent, who wanted to be a candidate in this NEC election, went down to Lexstrom House, tried to force their way into the building and seize the party's communication system and email system. In stark contravention of all the data protection legislation that we have in this country, which imposes not just civil penalties for breach of data confidentiality, but criminal penalties as well. And the police are now looking at this. When a leader of a party behaves like the president of some tin pot banana republic, then something surely has gone wrong with the party. I'm very disappointed in Richard, because on the face of it, he could be an excellent leader. He's articulate, he's smooth and presentable, and I believe that he's a highly intelligent chap. But he seems somehow to have gone haywire. So this NEC election actually is going to determine whether the party has a future or not. If you choose the blind alley of becoming a Tommy Robinson fan club, then it's goodbye to UKIP. And by all accounts from the membership figures, we lost 1,800 members in August, we lost 3,500 members in September. Goodness knows what the October figures will show. In August also we had the Brecon and Radnor by-election, where Liz Phillips was our candidate. I'd got 8.6% of the vote in the Newport by-election just a few weeks before the European elections, and I'd quadrupled the vote in Newport. In the Brecon by-election, we were soundly beaten by the monster, raving, loony party. That is the place that UKIP has been reduced to today. So if you want to vote for the monster, raving, loony candidates in this NEC election, you vote for the people that Gerard Batten has on his Batten Brigade ticket, because they want to consign the party that we've belonged to for so many years, the party which changed the political landscape in Britain by forcing the Conservative government under David Cameron to supply a referendum on EU membership, and then the referendum which we won, to consign this great party which has turned the whole political system on its head to utter and total electoral oblivion. I don't want that. I want UKIP to revive with sensible policies and on a platform which millions of people can support. So I hope that you will vote in this election for anybody but the Batten Brigade ticket. And if you think that UKIP matters, I believe that you will do what I've suggested.